Alright, so first replay here. Lots of gas, but we are going second. And usually when you go second, it feels kind of bad when you don't have a tech card to go with all this gas, because sometimes your opponent can just set up crazy boards, and there's nothing you can do about it. So, we're going to fast forward through our opponent's play here. Oh, Math Keck. Nice. Love this deck. Recently, oh yeah, Circular just got banned in the TCG, Keck W. Alright, so they're just going to do their Math Mech stuff. I do believe this guy sets up a pretty strong board. I think he gets the trapped special summon. He does get, I believe, a Firewall Dragon, like Singularity Dragon and Fluid Dragon. So that's like, which allows him to send a card to the graveyard from the extra deck. Yeah, so and then he also gets a bounce. So the Fluid Dragon, I think, is the one that sends to the graveyard. Yep, okay. So he's gonna put that out. This is to make Fluid. Sending, yeah, so he sends a spell and trap negate. He's got a bounce, plus he's got non-targeting send. With a negate, and we're under max C, by the way. So, we're gonna slow down here. We're gonna start with Rhoda. Yeah, and the reason why we're starting with Rhoda, exactly, we're going to add Shadow Mist. And the reason why we're adding Shadow Mist is because we don't really need the effect to add Mass Change anymore at all. And we also just need we need as much gas as possible. We need as many cards in our hand to play through all these disruptions. So we just want Shadow Mist to go with Ferris as another way to extend. But we are going to then start off with the hero lives. If one gets negated, we play another one. If somehow one of our monsters leave the field and we still have no cards in the field, we can play another one. So having two of these is actually quite good depending on what they do. So Rhoda for sure into Shadow Mist is the way. So he shotguns really early on this trap, which doesn't give him the max value. He's only going to send my hand, and he's going to send field. So only 2 cards instead of 3 if he had waited for the increase to make its way onto the board. But he does get a negate with that, right? So he has spell negate, monster negate, bouncing, non-target sending, plus we're under max C, so whatever hand traps he might get. So Stratos, activate. We're just going to start adding as many cards as we can. He hits the Shadow Mist, which is super lucky for us, unlucky for him. So we really don't lose out on anything there. He at best got rid of 1 card, and there was just the card on the field. So that really doesn't hurt us too much. It actually just made our other hero lives live. So we've already played through 1 disruption. So second card, Stratos again, add Plasma. I'm adding Plasma because I'm using this as a potential, it could be a potential DPE material. It could also just be a potential where I try to extend as much as possible, and as a last resort, we slam down the Plasma if the other things don't get through. I do know that he has a spell negate, so this Mass Change is going to be a great bait for the polymerization. We're going to start with Ferris, so we don't want to commit to our normal summon just yet. We want to see what they do. So he's unfamiliar with our deck, I think, which is why he's shotgunning the bounce. So we're just going to chain Mass Change as a good opportunity to say, to just show our opponent, like, oh yeah, like I want to keep these monsters, even though I don't care because I've already got the poly in my hand. I really just want him to use this negate. So he's going to target, yeah, so he's going to use his negate. So we've already forced out a non-targeting send. We've already forced out the bounce and a negate. So that's already 3 interruptions used from our opponent. Plus we're under max C, by the way. So we're still gonna get the increase. We're gonna normal summon Liquid now. Liquid's gonna target Stratos, right? We're gonna go for Stratos here. Just again, add as many cards. So I made sure to read this card. This card only negates, it does not destroy. So negating is fine. We don't need to respond to it just yet. So we're gonna leave the Liquid on the field here, just as another hero material. I'm trying to bait more stuff from him. So we're going to go Malicious Banish, special from the deck. Just kind of like see, like, is there something in your hand? We don't know. So he's going to activate Tempest here. So he just made it big, but I also believe he sent another negate, right? Another interruption. If this card is sent to the grave, you can target a face-up card on the field, negate its effect. So he's doing that. He's going to try and stop me from going into increase here. He's going to negate. That's fine. we can still now make Cross Crusader. So we've already gone through, what, 5 negates? Yeah, so bouncing, monster negate, non-target sending, plus spell negate. So that's 5 interruptions. We still haven't used our... Oh, we have used our normal summon. It was liquid. Duh. So we're going to bring back Tribute. Add. Now we're going to Poly. And we're going to go into DPE. What this does is get the Denier in the grave, which is huge. Because now the Denier can come from the graveyard onto the field, recycling the Malicious, allowing us to extend into further plays. Right? We've already committed. I don't care about Max C at this point. I have already taken the challenge. So now we're going to go into Wonder Driver, using the Malicious to get back the Poly, and we're going to go for Trinity. This is a Trinity play, right? Yeah. If he can't stop Trinity, it's over. Trinity goes to 5,000. Now, the reason why I went all in like this is because I wasn't really feeling any necessary delays. After he went through all these interruptions, all the cards he drew must have just been dead. I don't think they must have just been engine or cards he just could, or hand traps he just couldn't use. But like, I just felt nothing, and I said, look, I'm just gonna go in, and if he has it, he has it, right? If he has Nibiru, like, I can't be scared. I've just got to go for it. And sometimes with this deck, you can't overly be cautious and think, oh my god, I gotta play around this, I gotta play around that. There are some ways to play around certain things, but for the most part, like when you're under Max C and you're going second and they've set up 5 to 6 interruptions, your best bet is go all in and hope for the best. So 5,000 to the face, and then another 47 per game. So that was 5, almost 6 interruptions with a Max C. All right, so next duel. We're going first. Let's pause it so we can take a look at the hand. So, good fail-safe with the Mass Change. If we get Max Seed or Drolled, we have Mass Change. That makes us Dark Claw. If somehow the Stratos goes through and gets us a Ferris, we could also still set up DP as well, too. But we're going first here. So, our standard line is going to be Rhoda into Stratos, and we're going to go standard combo. We can make Dark Angel. And we can also make Dark Claw because we already have Mass Change. So we don't have to worry about getting missed onto the field and doing the Wake Up combo. We can do a pretty standard combo and prioritize just getting DP and the Destiny Heroes with the Dark Angel. So Rhoda, get Stratos. Because when you go into Vion, Vion can send Malicious. And then when you go Cross Crusader, you can add the Denier. So that's how you get the 2 Destiny Heroes there. And because we have the Liquid already in hand, you can use the Denier effect to stack the Dark Angel on top of the deck, and then you can do a draw 2 to add the Dark Angel to your hand. So because of already having Liquid, that's how I'm able to get to that line. And if you don't have the Liquid, then what you could just do is pop your Wake Up your Elemental Hero to special summon Stratos at the very end of your combo, and then he just adds the Dark Angel, and you put the Dark Angel on their field. So, standard combo, we're going to send Shadow Mist here. Going to add Plasma. Now, the reason why I did this, and I think, I try to remember this replay, but I do believe as soon as I played Ferris and sent a Dark, they did light up. So I sensed that, okay, they got a Bestial, and they could have more than one. So I added Plasma as a failsafe to basically suck up their Bestial, and I kind of pivoted away from the Dark Angel play. I kind of said, you know what, we're not going to set up Dark Angel anymore, because it ain't happening if they have Bestials. They're going to disrupt all of that, and I'm just going to lose my Malicious and my Denier for no freaking reason. So we're actually going to pivot now into Plasma. So, banish, add Poly. We're going to polymerize right away. We're gonna do the proper sequencing, chain link 1, chain link 2. So 1 on Liquid, 2 on Sunrise, so we can add first, then draw 2, discard, so we don't draw the Miracle by accident. All right, so tossing the Eclipse. So the cool thing about the Max C is that if they do present a Bestial and they try to special summon it, I can chain the Max C, potentially forcing them to play another Bestial from their hand, showing that they have another Bestial. Basically putting their hand on the field, saying, okay, you've played all your Bestials, now I can continue to do my plays because I don't have to worry about really anything else at that point. So that's really nice that we drew the Max C, funny enough, by going first. So we'll just continue. Now, the reason why I Miracle Fusion here is because of the Bestials. I'm trying to see if they're going to banish any of my dark targets by using this Miracle Fusion. And funny enough, they took the bait. Normally, you don't do it, your turn 1 combo in this sequence. You generally don't do this at all, right? It's very different from this. You generally have like Malicious in the Grave, you do Cross Crusader, and then Wonder Driver, and so on and so forth. But right now, we're doing things kind of out of sequence to kind of see if we can bait this player into using their Bestials. And they do. So, Druid Swarm, and I believe we chain Max D. Yeah, I don't need this card, so whether it baits something out or not, I'm still going to draw a card and replace it with something more helpful to help me, you know, set up my turn 1 board. So, Max D. But I was talking about that bait, right? So there you go. So they were like, no. I don't want you to draw. They want to play their Bestials throughout your turn, right? While you're setting up. But they don't want me to draw a bunch of free cards. So they're like, I'll give you 1 card max. The beauty about that is that that gives me information. And that information is valuable for me setting up. So now I can set up properly. So that now tells me that, yeah, Plasma is the way. We gotta, because they're only gonna have 3 cards in hand. And we're gonna have Dark Law, Plasma, and DP. So Absolute Zero. Oh, my cheeses. You know what? I was thinking for a second there that we were going to actually... Okay, so now I understand where we're going with this line. We are still going to Plasma, but now I remember this duel. We're actually going to Mass Change and make Dark Law, and then we're going to tribute over the Absolute Zero and 2 other heroes to blow up the field and banish them. Now, some would say you should probably suck these up. Maybe there was a way where I probably should have just left Ab-Zero on the field and sucked up, but I don't think there was a way. I think that was the only way. I mean, the fact that you have Sunrise boosting it to 2300 and protecting it from any attack, I mean, they have to get to Sunrise before they can get to your Plasma. So I think this was totally fine. We wipe out the Bestials. They're not going to get anything from this. And then when he adds with Serenir, we're going to Dark Claw Rip. But he just scoops before that, so it's just game over. Yeah. So that was the thing. So like when I saw the Bestials, I knew that we should probably change and pivot our strategy from, you know, the Dark Angel Dark Law lock to now Dark Law Plasma. Alright. What we got here? What the trash? Okay, luckily we're going second, so this could be Heart of the Cards Guide Me, you know. The beauty about this hand is that it's literally 1 card away from being just amazing, right? I can stop a Maxi trash, I can stop Ash Blossom trash, I can use this to, you know, to break boards and play through imperms. This is a possible extender. So we're literally 1 card away from just popping up. I'm going to fast forward through my opponent's turn. Oh my god, it's Cringe Runic. Yeah, we're definitely fast forwarding through this. So I'm sitting here like, if I'd gone first, I would just, it would have been just game over, right? Because I can't make a play. So it's actually good that we got to go second against Runic with this particular hand. So they're going to set, they probably set 2 Floodgates, most likely, right? So draw, Ash. Ooh, that's rough. Now, because it's a Runic deck, and a lot of their cards, in order to like make me mill stuff, require me to have cards on the field, I kind of just said there's really no point in me setting anything. Like nothing on here makes any sense for me to set. It's very unlikely too that they can OTK me. I knew people in chat were saying, well, they can kill you going second, but I was like, well, it doesn't really help me to set anything. It probably gives them more options with their spells to like pop them and then mill me. And then I lose cards from my deck that I need to draw into. So for me, I just say, look, nothing here is going to save me or help me from being OTK'd. I'd rather just high roll and just say, you know what, I'm just going to pass. I'm going to also hold this Ash so I can potentially stop the Fountain from adding cards back to their hand. Or drawing cards, I should say. So, they're going to activate Special Summon the Huggin. That's fine. They're going to get back a draw 1. So they traded a card. That's totally fine. That's why I didn't Ash. I was like, yeah, I'm not going to Ash that. I'm going to wait until they like play like multiple cards, right? Like if they play like 2 to 3 cards and then they try to fountain those all back, then you Ash. Alright, so back to us. We drew a Fusion Destiny, which is freaking massive, because now I can actually play the game. So we're going to Eclipse. The reason why we Eclipsed here is because I don't want this stupid card protecting their field spell. So when I play the Fusion Destiny, I also want this to bait a potential Ash Blossom. So for me, it was like, not only do I flip this and take away the protection on the fountain, but I also can bait out an Ash. And if they Ash it, then I just do it again. So there's no downside to Eclipsing right away. So, funny enough, they had Max C. So I think we hold the Ash and we called by the Max C here. We do, yeah. So the reason why I called by this is because I said, look, I need to hold the Ash for the fountain, because if they activate a bunch of dumb cards and then they try to draw a bunch of them back, that could be too hard for me to play through with the cards I have. So I said, I'm going to call by Max C, and I want this Ash to stop your fountain. So he is, see, exactly. So he's going to Smiting Storm. So he's going to banish cards off the top of my deck. So we didn't lose anything bad. If anything, it was funny that he got rid of Max C's that we don't want to draw into. Nice. And we still have DP targets. Get Phoenix Enforcing. So we're going to do our combo. Rivalry of Warlords is probably the worst floodgate to have against us. That's actually hilarious. When I saw that, I was like, oh my god, that's got to be like the best floodgate you could have against me. So we just continue our combo. Because at this point, now my strategy is like, unless you've got like Gozen or something like that, I'm just going to go Stratos and pop everything now. And once I pop everything, this deck just, once these are all gone, he just loses. Crusader. We also get an additional special summon from Malicious because we put it back on top of the deck. So we went for Shadow Mist here because I believed I felt like absolutely no delay. So in this situation, I'm just going for full gas. I'm going to thin out my deck, and I can still get to the Stratos without, yeah, using the normal summon. So Shadow Mist, chain block it with the Ferris so they can't stop it in any way. If for whatever reason they try to stop the Stratos, I can use the increase to tribute through, and I don't have to waste my DP pop. So Stratos, pop, pop, pop. Non-targeting, by the way. Yeah, and I wonder if they realized, yeah, it didn't matter. He just had garbage. It was Synchro Zone. So it doesn't let me, unless you have Synchro Monsters or something, you can't attack. But yeah, once you pop everything, he's just like, I'm dead. Alright, so I do believe this replay was actually, I think this was Stun. So this is another gas hand where I thought, hey, I'm playing against a combo deck. It's all over for me. I've got nothing to stop them. But then I discover it's Stun, and of course, every time Stun gets to go first, they always get set 3 with, you know, a Dyna, a Jowgen, or a Border, and then they go Card Demise because they're just that skilled at the game. So this guy's playing like an Eldritch variant, which is interesting. So he has Conquistador. He's going to set it. So my approach to this is I need to draw like a Fusion Destiny. I need to get to like Poly. I need to get a Fusion on the field or I'm just screwed. But the Max Change actually helps me kind of do that. So my original plan before I saw the DPU was like, okay, we're going to Hero Lives. We're going to get Blast on the field. Hopefully Blast can maybe deal with like a back row or something. And then we're going to play like a Stratos on the field to like pop back row. So we drew the Fusion Destiny, which is like bonkers. It's so freaking good. The thing too about Blast as well too is that Blast can just like swing over the border as well. So Hero Lives. He's gonna use the Scarlet Sanguine. I believe that just special summons an Eldritch. Yeah, okay. So he just gets Eldritch out. Cool. So it's just a body. Stratos does not activate because I need at least a Fusion, a Synchro, or an Exceed to at least like one other type in order to activate something. So he goes Gozen to cut me off from other elements. So I'm just going to go Mass Change right away. Which is funny that it baited out his Conquistador, emptying my field again. So by emptying the field again, the Gozen like literally does nothing to me. He actually like made his Gozen way worse by popping Stratos just because he was scared of Blast. But maybe he knew what Blast did and said, well, Blast comes down, he's just going to bounce my back row and reduce my border and swing over anyway. So if I didn't have Fusion Destiny, maybe I was screwed. So Fusion Destiny, send the materials. Now, in this position, against stun decks, generally you're not going to OTK. Usually against stun decks, or like stupid control decks, you need to just chip away at them. You can't OTK them just because they generally have too many resources to kind of like avoid that. You know, so you're most likely they're trying to decide the game on their first turn by setting up all these things that basically don't let you play, and then it's up to you whether you can play through it or you just hit the surrender button. But if you can play through some of their disruption and chip away at it, you can then take control of the game. And if you can chip away at enough of their resources, they generally can't come back from that. Like, they're not very good at top decking. Like, their deck is very much just like, it's turn one or nothing, right? Like, that's it. So with us, because we have cards like DPE, we can continually apply pressure. So battle phase, we're just going to swing over. And then because I felt no delays, and I was just like, Gozen match literally does nothing. I could just play the rest of my deck as Dark. Like, I don't need Stratos anymore. So we just go straight up into, and we haven't used DPE's effect. So what's going to happen here is I'm probably just going to go through my full combo, pop the Gozen, play a Stratos, pop the rest of his back row, and he's probably going to surrender. So Malicious, Banish, Special Summon, activate Rhoda, going to add Stratos, Denier effect, going to put Malicious back on top of the deck. And the beauty about all this is that I get to activate all these cards because the border's gone. So just getting rid of the border was perfect. And if you flipped over like a stupid like anti-attack card, that's when I'd say, okay, fine, DP is going to pop that, and then we go a different route with our playing around the Gozen match. The Gozen match wasn't my focus, but when I knew that nothing was happening with this face down card, I just said, okay, I'm going to commit to this, to DP popping this and Stratos just popping the rest. So Crusader. Yeah, Special Summon Denier. So I set the hero lives because I didn't want to pop a monster. I want to keep the presence here so I can pop additional cards with the Stratos, just in case like something stupid happens where he tries to like flip a bunch of things face down. So just giving me more ways to say, look, I'm getting rid of 2 cards guaranteed. So DP, pop the Gozen. So that allows me to play Stratos now, and then Stratos is going to come down, pop the rest. Stratos activate, pop, pop. Funny enough, because we had 3, and that still counts as a trap, we actually still got to pop his monster. So he's going to put Eldritch in the graveyard. That doesn't really do anything. We're going to tribute, add Ferris. Now we're going to go full combo. Now we're just going to like, look, it may be main phase 2, dude, but like this game is over. And I do believe I haven't used Shadow Mist. So I think we're going to go for Plasma and suck up that Eldritch. We're going to get sucking. Yeah, send. Gonna grab a Poly. Yeah. Yeah. I'm surprised he hasn't surrendered yet. Banish. Still hasn't surrendered. Plasma. I don't even care for Sunrise. Just give me that. Now, the reason why I didn't... I can't make Sunrise because we Fusion Destiny, so ignore that comment. Yeah, that's the reason why we didn't use the Poly, because I'm not going to make a skirt out. I'll just keep the board. The one thing when I thought about this play was maybe I should have made Decimator to make my dudes bigger. But with DP on the field, I don't think I need to be any bigger because everything's going to be reduced anyway. So I felt like just having more resources on the field was better for a better follow-up. And because I still had Poly, I could then potentially make Sunrise if this person doesn't surrender or they somehow make a miracle comeback. So they banish, they set the Sanguine, that's fine. They end their turn. I'm just like, yeah, I don't care. Yeah, it's fine. I'm gonna fast forward through their turn. They're gonna set that, tribute it, just add it back to their hand, and then I believe they surrender here. Battle. Yeah. I eat this because I get back increase, so it doesn't really matter to me. And I'm just making sure that, I'm not going to use my DP on anything because I'm just going to hold it for when I need it. I don't need to protect Stratos. Yeah. And by me taking damage, I get increase, which allows me to go through my deck for Vion again if I want to. All right. So, last replay of the DC Cup. I do believe I had 2 minutes left in this duel. It was pretty crazy, but yeah, very good hand here. We're going second, so we're probably going to Foolish into Shadow Mist, grab Ferris, start with Ferris, yada yada yada. If they max CS, we got Ash. If they got a bunch of negates, we Droplet. But we are going first, so this Ash probably might get used before we even get to our turn. So let's see what they're on. We'll fast forward. Don't really care to watch their combo. Okay, so Branded Punk. Okay. So normally I would negate the Zeman, but they haven't used their normal summon. And that makes me kind of nervous trying to negate something like that, even though it's an important card to negate. The Carp, the Rising Carp, seems to be the strongest part of the deck, or the strongest part of the combo. So I'd rather interrupt that with the Ash. Now I do know that the Rising Carp tributes off the field for cost, which allows them to potentially Gamma, but I mean, like, that's 2 cards in your deck. So if you've got the Gamma, you've got the Gamma. But the way I see it, if I Ash this, it's most likely that whatever extra cards they have in their hand, they could continue their combo and still get to the Rising Carp, and then I'm just toast. So the way I see it with this is, like, if I'm going to use this Ash Blossom, I'm going to go for max value Blossom. Rising Carp. Tribute. Yeah, so it does tribute, right? So they could Gamma here, right? They could Gamma here. But look, I'm hitting the Rising Carp, and they've got 2 cards in hand, right? When I was going to Ash the Zeman, they had 4 cards in hand. So that's just, like, way worse in my opinion. So we got the negate. It went through. Very nice. They play a Bestial, Magnum Hut. They're going to draw a card. That's fine. They're going to add in the end phase. E-teleport again. Must be nice. So they E-teleported a Gamma that was in their deck and not in their hand. Nice, nice, nice. So this card is annoyingly good. They add the, what is that? The Apple Dragon or something? Ringo Worm of 100 apples. Okay. They're going to summon it, bring out a token. Okay. Systemate Baron. No, Bestial Dissipator. So Peter is a effect negate, right? Okay. So they got an effect negate here. That's fine. We got Droplet. They're going to bring out that. Make Elf. Elf doesn't really have any good targets in here, so the Elf didn't really matter. It's just the Peter right now. And they're gonna have a Bestial in hand. Yeah, they're gonna have a Bestial in hand. They're gonna have a Bestial in hand. The Druid Swarm. Okay, so Baron. Okay, so they're still able to make Baron, Peter, and they'll have a Druid Swarm. So they still have 3 interruptions, but thank freaking God we have Droplet. Because if we didn't have Droplet, we probably still get cooked, even though we ashed at the right point. Baron de Fleur. It's kind of crazy that in TCG this card used to be like $100-something, and now it's like 99 cents because of the Royal Collection. They added Druid Swarm at the end. Cool. Now it's funny, when I was doing this game, I was like so worried. I was like, oh man, they got Druid Swarm. How do I deal with Druid Swarm? That card's really annoying. Like I can't just Trinity them, right? But I always have like PTSD that like most people when they Druid Swarm me, they also have like Bull Drake, where they have a way to tribute it to like kind of quick effect activate its effect. But they didn't set that up at all. They were basically, I think at best they set up like with the regain, they're able to bring back Magna Hut with Druid Swarm, but like it doesn't matter because they have the Elf in attack mode and they have the Baron in attack. So Foolish for Mist. Wow, so they ash the Foolish. They don't even wait to see what I'm playing. So we're gonna Droplet tribute our Foolish, and we're gonna get rid of the Ash Blossom we just top deck. We don't need that. We don't need it. If they max CS, so be it. The only way we can win this is Stratos, add Ferris, Ferris, send Malicious. Like we need both these cards. It's just the only way. So that gets negated. That's fine. It just means that like if we know that they can't stop us because they have a Bestial in hand. So after they Ash Blossomed us. After they Ash Blossomed us, we knew right away that they just had Druid Swarm, so we had like clear path to like game. We had Trinity here into a double attack because they're at 6,800, so we don't even need the Honest Neos. So they're gonna get the Magna Hut here, and then they're gonna at some point probably play Druid Swarm when the Malicious hits the grave. I believe they do it as soon as Malicious hits the grave. Nope, they haven't done it yet, so they're waiting. Okay, we're gonna probably send Denier here. Nope, missed. Okay. Gonna add Liquid. Yeah, I mean, at this point, there's no point in going for Denier, just because, like, again, we're looking at an OTK line. We're using Trinity here. So they Druid Swarm. They're like, okay, we'll get rid of Malicious, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't do anything to us. Vanish. Grab Poly. I don't even think I make anything else. I think I literally just make Trinity and Crash. Because Trinity here is 35 plus 36. Draw 2. It's like, okay, you can negate with Baron, that's fine. It's already been dropleted. It's always funny when people try to negate stuff like that. The Eclipse don't matter. Battle. 36. And 35 for game. And that was like my very last duel of the night. It was 11... Was it 11:59 or 10:59? It was like 10:59 EST, and we just finished that duel, and my opponent didn't surrender or stall. They activated Baron, but that was just probably a frustration activate, and we were able to win the game. So yeah. All right, so here's the deck. This is the deck that we did in stage 1, from 19 to 20, and then it felt really good, so I took it to stage 2. I didn't change a thing, and it just continued to feel really good. So 1 Dark Angel, standard, 3 Max D, standard, 2 increase. I don't like this card at 2, but it's like one of those things where I feel like in the online game, you gotta just play 2. Because it was really nice. I hated drawing this card sometimes, but for the most part, it always kind of paired with something else, so it wasn't really the end of the world. And, you know, nothing feels worse than when you're like, oh, I could extend with Ferris, but I can't because the 1 copy of Increase is in my hand with the Ferris. So now my possible extender is no longer an extender. So we're going to stick to 2 for a little while and just kind of, you know, we're just going to stick to 2 for a little while. 3 Ash, 1 Denier. I love 3 Stratos. This card is just so clutch and it's very good for consistency. So instead of running 2 Stratos and an E-Call, I think the E-Call is warranted if you're playing like 2 Stratos and an Honest Neos, but I didn't like how some opening hands were just one of my heroes being Honest Neos and then a bunch of other cards. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to sacrifice the fact that that card could be really legit as a way to play through Maxis or like OTK in other ways, right? Through like big fields where they have monsters on the field, but you just get so big that you can crash through and take advantage of them on low life points. I just really want to make sure that like my main combo was always intact, and I just felt like Honest Neos didn't really contribute to that, and I just wanted to, I preferred consistency, which is why I'm on 2 Increase, and I just didn't want to see that card ever in most cases unless I was searching it. So I was like, you know what? The only time I want to put a Garden in my deck is if I'm playing something like Infernal Rage, and I just don't think that that card... I have mixed feelings of Honest Neos. Like, I go back and forth on it. I think Honest Neos is probably fine in a larger build, where you're less likely to see it, and it's part of a toolbox, but where I was trying to keep things a bit leaner, I didn't like it. And I noticed it when I was playtesting this deck in the Stage 1. So, 1 Shadow Mist, because again, this is one of those cards I don't really want to see in my hand. You could warrant a second copy of this, because it does feel bad when you open it and you kind of want to do the Dark Law combo. But I'm also not running Crosskeeper, which some people do. So I feel like if you're going to run 2 copies of this, it makes sense with like a Crosskeeper, and especially if you're also running like Honest Neos. Like those are cards that could be used with a Crosskeeper special summon. But I don't like Crosskeeper. Every time I playtest that card, it's always like sitting there with a Ferris, and then it's just doing dick all. So I just kind of said, you know what, 1 Shadow Mist, because it's not something I really want to see all that much. 1 Liquid, standard, 3 Ferris, standard, again, you need it for consistency. 2 Malicious, 1 Plasma. So keeping the engine as lean as possible without sacrificing consistency, which is why I said, you know what, if I'm going to go 2 Increase, then I'm not running Honest Neos. 1 Poly, 1 Foolish, 1 Rhoda, 1 Miracle. I used to be kind of iffy on Foolish, but I kind of like it, because a lot of people tend to shotgun Ash Blossom on it, like very aggressively. If I play Emergency Call, no one ashes that. Like, no one ashes that, ever. But when you play a Foolish Burial, they don't even know what you're playing, and they'll ash that. So this is actually pretty good at baiting some Ash. 3 Hero Lives, 2 Fusion Destiny. I can't wait till we get 3 Copium ban list in Master Duel. Freeze this card to 3. That would be insane. And then Infernal Rage comes to the game. Yes, heroes rise up. Alright, 3 Eclipse, because as much as I love normal book, I was seeing a lot of cash. And yeah, if you can draw phase the Shangri-La plus getting that Arise Heart face down, you're in a pretty solid spot. Again, also this card just being able to bait Ash Blossom, pretty cool. 2 Mass Change, pretty standard. You do want to see this as a fallback. Yeah, because the deck is lean, we can see these cards in less situational scenarios. So this, stopping hand traps like Shifter, Droll, holy crap, Shifter was everywhere. So we needed these. 2 Droplet, just because we had to still respect the fact that there is cash, so we can't really commit to 3 copies. And then just 3 Imperm, because it's standard, just standard, generically good. The hand traps, I kind of just stuck to the generic good hand traps and didn't get too crazy with like adding Drolls and stuff like that like I did in my previous build. We went to 2 Darklaw, because although there was Kashtira, there was a lot of other decks that Darklaw really put in work against, like Mathmech and and branded decks and Dragon Link. So I felt like, if I could set up potentially 2 Darklaws, I'd rather that, which comes up more often, than like, oh, I might need to Shadow Mist once in a blue moon. I just wasn't seeing any Labyrinth. I wasn't seeing, the only thing that like a Shadow Mist, an Absolute Zero / Acid could come up is the stun decks that started to appear. But generally, they just negate your monster effects, so the only way to really stop stun decks is either going first or catching them off guard and being able to like chip away at the resources, or just straight up having like Lightning Storm or Duster, and we just don't play those. So I felt like Acid just wasn't a good call. I just don't think we needed it. I felt like this Darklaw was just more impactful across more matchups. 1 Blast, 1 Sunrise, 1 Absolute, Trinity. Again, this card was always talked about being cut because Wake Up, but it's like, I find I make Trinity more than I make Wake Up. And it's really cool to have 2 OTK avenues that your opponents have to respect. Especially, when you're locked under Fusion Destiny, you do need this available. And also, the reason why I played Escura down, I used to be like, oh, this card's just a vanilla, but it does come up when you're under Fusion Destiny and you've got like a Mass Change or something, and you can still make Darklaw, or you just want to extend and Miracle Fuse into another body that can get relatively big under Fusion Destiny. 1 DP, 1 Wake Up, 2 Wonder Driver, 2 Cross, 1 Anaconda, and 1 Decimator. Now the reason why I went 2 Driver was because I really liked having it for a turn 1 combo. Because I'm only on 1 Poly and 1 Miracle, you can maybe justify only 1 Driver if you're on 2 Poly. Because I'm only on 1, I did like the idea of going with 2, because I was like, you know what, 1's for the turn 1 and 1's for the follow-up. So turn 1 and turn 3 are there all the time. Kind of like how Cross Crusader's there for turn 1 and turn 3. So I just felt like, 2 of each was just really solid. So then that way I have the ability to go in and recycle some resources. I just couldn't really think of anything that was better than this. And I felt like this would be more likely a better option than like Acid, or like a second Destiny Hero monster. So I really liked having that follow-up. So then that way I'm not like, oh, I used my 1 Poly and my 1 Miracle, I can't get them back, that sucks. It's like, because I already used Wonder Driver for the turn 1. So it's actually really nice to have a follow-up Wonder Driver. But yeah, the deck felt really good. We're currently in Master 5 right now. I'm going to finish my climb to Master 1 this season. Try to complete another climb. And this is the deck I'm going to play on the ladder with. I think right now I might have cut and eclipsed 2 copies to make the deck 44. Just trying out different ratios to kind of see like if the deck plays better being a little bit leaner, so I see other cards a bit sooner, stuff like that. So 45 has felt really good. I love how heroes can go back and forth. You can play 45, you can play 50, you can play 60. It really just depends on kind of like the package that you're trying to implement, So take this deck, go for it, try it out if you like it. I mean, everybody who plays heroes that I know of, that I follow, tend to play heroes a bit differently and have different preferences, but that's the beauty about this deck, is that there's a lot of things that you can do with this deck based on your preferences. You can go large deck, toolbox, and it'll still play fantastic. You can go really lean, and the deck will play fantastic as well too. It really just depends on who you are as a player and what you feel comfortable with. In the end, this deck is always a ton of fun, and when I play in DC Cups or KC Cups and Duel Links with heroes, I always have a blast. I always have fun playing a deck that I enjoy, and I always love trying to prove to myself how much better can I get with this deck. So I hope you guys enjoyed the deck profile. It's a little bit longer than, you know, some of the other videos, but I did want to go over more commentary this time rather than just kind of showing replays. And let me know in the comments down below what you guys thought about the video, your preferences on Master Duel videos in general. I know some people like my Duel Links videos when I do commentary, so if you prefer when I talk and do commentary for my Master Duel videos, I also don't mind doing that either, because when I go through my replays, it helps me kind of review and get a little bit better and learn things. And then also, if there's things that I'm missing and there's other hero players that are much better than I am, because I have a lot to learn. I have so many much more experienced players than I am. You know, feel free to be like, you know what, you did talk about this line, but there was probably a better line, or maybe you should have thought about that. So feedback on, you know, on the plays that I made are also helpful as well too, alongside feedback on the videos and the format. So thank you guys for watching. I really appreciate everyone's support, and I look forward to seeing you guys all in the next video.